I'm going to show you how I started building muscle with these 5 techniques that you can use today. All because I want to help you on your journey to building muscle as well. So I'm beginning my exercise journey. And I'm pumped. I'm ready to exercise, alright? I'm warming up and I'm getting ready to exercise. And I grab the bar and I just go. And I do like 3. But that doesn't matter. Because I know I'm going to progress over time. And I do the exercise, and then, I don't know what I'm doing. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing, the exercise, but I just don't have a workout. I'm just aimlessly going nowhere. Not to mention, I'm not doing very well. Because I did, 3 days of exercise, and then I quit. Because, another 2 weeks pass, and I'm done. I can't do anything. And so, what my father suggested I did, when I encountered this problem, what he suggested I did was I took a look at this book. You Are Your Own Gym. And this book, if you want to read it, please check it out. It's awesome. Alright? It's got a bunch of exercises in it, and it's also got a workout on the back. So this workout is really good. You do it day by day. These are all the columns. But what I did was for the first weeks, I progressive overloaded. I found this progressive overload technique on the internet, and I decided to try it. And it worked really well. What I did was I took the first week, and I just did the first exercises. Nothing else. Then the second week, I did just these exercises. The third week, I did the first 3 exercises. The fourth week, I did all of the exercises. Then, since there's 2 weeks here, I just repeated the whole thing again, and I moved to the next page. And on the next page, it's the same thing, but I just do the whole exercise twice, and then the next one do the whole exercise twice for the amount of weeks it states. This way, I was able to get a lot more consistent. But I didn't stay completely consistent because I ran into my next issue. I lasted around 2 or 3 weeks, which is much more consistent, much better. But I lose a month in between. Now, why? What is the issue here? Well, the main issue that happened was vacation. Sometimes my family and I would go out, alright? We'd go out for, last March break of 2020. We went on vacation. And this was a one-time thing. We went on vacation, and we were out in Florida for the whole March break. Again, a one-time thing. And I didn't exercise at all. I completely forgot about exercise, and I didn't do anything. Then when I got back home, I was like, oh, I don't want to exercise. And I had been on a roll at home of exercising, but I just lost that motivation to exercise. I just lost it all. And it was a sucky feeling because I wanted to keep exercising, but I couldn't. So this is when I realized, this is when I discovered hot triggers. Now, I didn't know they were called hot triggers until recently, but this is when I first discovered hot triggers. My hot trigger is every time I go on vacation, my exercise routine gets really mixed up and really messy, and then everything just goes into the ditch. So what I do my best to do is, for my hot triggers, I just keep them in mind. And keeping them in mind, and it's okay on vacation to not exercise, although I do my best to exercise anyway, because I like keeping the habit and holding that habit. So, as long as it's not a 5-month vacation, it's okay to not exercise for a little bit. It's okay to miss a day, but don't miss a lot, okay? And another thing, keep in mind that you're missing a few days. And if you're on vacation, and if you can, don't miss a day. Exercise. Alright, it's not good to purposely miss a day just because, oh yeah, I'm on vacation. No, don't do that. The strong thing to do is to do the hard work anyway. Now, I'm exercising consistently, and I get back home and I'm exercising consistently, and we go on another vacation for the weekend, and when I get home, I still manage to exercise, all right? I'm doing it very consistently. All right? Then I run into the same issue again with trying to move into a different workout. All right? This is where I came across the problem with patience. I got impatient. I did like half of the basic workout. And then I got impatient. I didn't see results. And I saw like all these tutorials online on how to build muscle. And they're like, oh, do like 80 push-ups every day. Do 20 pull-ups every day. And 300 squats every day. And I tried it. And then I was done. I stopped. And I was so inconsistent. I thought I was consistent now. I was a consistent person when it came to exercising. And so I moved on to a harder exercise. But it didn't work. Don't make the same mistake I did. Because when I did this, I discovered that when you're progressive overloading, once you're like progressive overloading and you get to this level, like level 4, you can't just jump to level 10 or 20. You have to keep the consistent pace, otherwise it gets too hard and you quit. And just like the vacation thing, when I like the hot trigger, I kind of started getting inconsistent again. So I had to go all the way back, and this was like a year. This took like a whole like year to fix. It took a year to fix the problem. And so I had to start from the beginning of the workout and do it all again. And I did the same thing. I started with the first part of the workout, and I just did the next 2 parts the next second week. The third week I did the next 3 parts and fourth parts, and the same thing I just explained. Now this is all great because now I'm actually consistently building muscle. But let's go back a little bit. All right? Me trying to consistently exercise. There's one thing that I'm missing. My diet. I'm eating junk food. I'm eating cakes, chocolate bars. I'm eating cupcakes, and it's garbage. It's all garbage for me, and it's all unhealthy. And I couldn't stop. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't stop. And so I did something really, really challenging, but it changed my life. What I did was my parents brought home some Subway cookies, all right? And then they also brought some other treats. These were super good, all right? I wanted them. But to improve my diet, I had to say no. Well, give me a second. Okay. I had to say no to these things. And I really wanted them. But I told myself, no, I'm not gonna go eat this junk food because I want to. I'm going to say no because I don't want to be a person who eats junk food. I'm going to set this expectation for myself that I don't eat junk food. And so I stopped eating junk. I didn't eat it. And it was hard. What I did was I literally sat there and I stared at the treats. I stared at those amazing, tasty, mushy Subway cookies. Mushy on the inside, but crunchy on the outside. And the chocolate looked so perfectly melted. I just wanted to put one in my mouth and taste it, but I pushed it back and I said no. And this was incredibly difficult because there was also a time limit. Because if I didn't eat them, they'd all be gone and then I wouldn't get one. And so there's an incentive for me to eat it quickly, or else I don't get any. But I used all my willpower to say no. And as the days went on, there were like a couple less, and then a couple less, and a couple less, and soon they were all gone. I was relieved. I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I sat there with the treats in front of me. And I became a person who didn't eat junk food. From that day forward, I found it so much easier to say no to junk food. It became part of my personality. And every time I did start eating junk food again, I just did the same thing. And then it became so much easier to say no to junk food and get onto a path where I ate much healthier food. Because I just proved to myself that I don't have to eat junk food. I can eat healthy food. And so everything's going well, alright? I'm eating consistently. I'm doing all these things. And now I want to start running. It's a little addition. It's not, because I thought back to my last issue where I split off from the original program into something way harder. I didn't do that. I kept with the already existing program, but I added in a little bit of cardio. So what I did was, I went for a run. And this run was a 3K. About a 3K. And I worked my ass off. But I didn't get the results okay. So I was running, and I got 18 minutes on my 3K. Which is not bad. It's pretty decent. And that's what I thought to myself. But then, like a couple weeks later, I was like, okay, I want to do better. I'm going to get at least 17 minutes. Going to get at least 17 minutes more. So I'm staring at the track. It wasn't an actual track. It was like it was like a field. And so I'm staring at the field. And I'm ready to run laps. Okay. Here we go. I start my timer and I start running. Now the running at the beginning is easy, alright? And I just keep running. And then around the end, it's kind of, the road I was on, it kind of went uphill at the end. And so it got really tough at the end. And I was tired. But through the whole thing, I was like, I got to keep a fast pace if I want to break this time. And I really thought it was difficult to break 18 minutes. And so I just kept pushing. I just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. I didn't take a look at the clock. I just kept pushing. And then I came to the uphill. This is when my mind started saying, give up. What if I say give up? Give up. Give up. No. I didn't give up. I pushed through that. I pushed through it, and I just kept pushing. And I ran through that uphill. And I made it to the finish line. And it was long and painful. I thought it'd never end. I finally made it to the finish line. And I ended my time from 18 minutes to 15 minutes. A 3-minute difference. Now, if you're really good at running, this isn't that much. But to me, it was a lot. Because this showed me I had improved. And so I was running so much faster than I used to, all because I pushed just a little bit harder. And that brings us to now. I have other tips and tricks I will be showing you in the future and possibly on a Patreon, but for now, this is all we got. And so, I'm glad you stayed tuned, and I really hope you learned something from this video, even though it's a little bit long, like 14, 15 minutes. It's a little long, but I genuinely hope you got a lot of value from this video, and I can't wait to show everybody this, and I can't wait to see you in my life, and I can't wait to see your progress. Now, as an actionable step to build all the 5 pieces of advice and even a couple extra pieces of advice in there. The 5 pieces of advice are, check out this book, You Are Your Own Gym. I might put a link in the description. Go check it out. It's down below in the description. Check out that book, You Are Your Own Gym. start progressive overloading, like I told you to. Do like the 1 week, the 2, and you know, like I explained to you. And if you just jump to this part of the video, you didn't watch any of it, come on, bro. But seriously, I'll show you it right now, just so you understand what's happening. So you start the basic program right here. You do this part the first week, then you do both parts the second week, then you do all 3 parts the third week, and the 4 parts the fourth week, and then you just repeat that. And other pieces of advice, that actionable steps to take. Watch out when you're on vacations, all right? When you go on vacations or you take breaks, watch out, because these can really derail your progress. And especially when you're progressive overloading, don't jump to something harder, because that will break your progress down instantly. And keep a good diet. And try the thing I did. Take like some junk food and just stare at it. And just stare at it, but say no. Use that willpower. Get used to that feeling of saying no. Because it's really a fun feeling. It's really a fun feeling to say no to your desires. And push as hard as you can. Fight, alright? Fight that feeling of give up, give up, give up. Fight it. Don't give up. Thank you very much for joining me. And you got this, bro.